Right now, more financial help for Wisconsin bars, restaurants, and small businesses. How new laws will benefit them.
Plus, why the UN is now saying the situation in Ukraine is turning into a humanitarian crisis.
And it's a cold start to this morning. We'll talk about what to expect coming up.
It is a bit chillier out there this morning than it has been. A little bit of nip in the air, making its way back as we welcome you in this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Josh Ryder. Lee Linscheid is on vacation. Yeah, it's kind of tough when you get, a little hint of 60s over the weekend, and we get some snow, and then it's cold this morning. It's like this. Hold on tight, right?
All over the place. We have the chance of some more snow in the forecast that Julian will get to in just a moment, too.
First, though, this morning, Russian forces are continuing their invasion as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is not afraid of anyone.
He's also criticizing Russia for breaking last week's ceasefire meant to establish a humanitarian corridor. But now, as CBS's Laura Podesta reports, there's cautious optimism a new ceasefire will stick.
Posting a video from his office, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's staying in Kyiv as long as necessary to win what he called a patriotic war. An advisor to Zelensky said there was progress during a third round of talks with Russia yesterday on establishing humanitarian corridors, allowing civilians in some cities to escape. Russia said it would open passages into Russia and Belarus, but Ukraine wants routes to the west.
The bottom line is more civilians are being killed.
Pentagon spokesman John Kirby says Russian troops have become frustrated by their lack of progress and have increased their reliance on long-range missile attacks that hit schools and hospitals.
They are having fuel problems. They are having food problems. They are meeting a very stiff and determined Ukrainian resistance.
Bombs could be heard going off near this children's holiday camp, now acting as a shelter.
Please help us, I ask you. Next could be here. I ask you, go now.
In Washington, a bipartisan group of lawmakers supports a ban on Russian oil as a way to put more pressure on Vladimir Putin.
You're doing it to make sure that our American dollars aren't going to support a Russian illegal war in Ukraine.
A new poll shows 7 in 10 Americans support a ban, even if it means higher gas prices. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
The White House is talking with other oil-producing countries like Venezuela to fill possible gaps and has also called on oil companies to increase production in the U.S. The UN, meantime, says this conflict has led to more than 1.7 million Ukrainians leaving the country, causing the most pressing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II.
UNICEF's global spokesperson says 1 million children have been made refugees in under 2 weeks. He warns this will continue until the fighting comes to an end.
Children are being killed last night. Today, dozens of children are now killed, many more, I imagine. Civilian facilities, key civilian facilities are coming under attack, leaving millions without water, critical infrastructure. And as you saw there, we have almost 1 million children who are refugees, 1 million kids refugees in under 2 weeks. This is unprecedented globally. It's harrowing. It's happening as we speak. And it will continue unless we see a cessation of hostilities and this bombing to stop. Otherwise, we will keep seeing lives, as we just saw there, shattered.
And look at this. New photos of what appears to be a dud Russian missile that hit a Ukrainian zoo. According to the zoo director, it did not explode and no animals were hurt.
The invasion of Ukraine is also causing the rebranding of a popular line of vodka. The maker of Solokhnaya vodka says the liquor will now be sold and marketed simply as Stoli. Stoli Group's founder, Russian-born billionaire Yuri Shefler, was exiled from the country in 2000 because of his opposition to Putin.
Right, 3 minutes after 6 here on your Tuesday morning. Let's check in with Julian Seawright and that sunrise over the Capitol. Hey, Julian.
That's right, the sunrise over the Capitol. Beautiful start to our Tuesday morning, at least visually, because it is quite chilly for us. As temperatures are 16 degrees here in Madison, and we're going to be looking at plenty of open sky for us as we get in throughout the rest of today. But just know, temperatures around southern Wisconsin are definitely definitely on the chillier end as we're waking up this morning. 19 degrees into Janesville with 12 degrees in Platteville. And our friends over in Boscobel and Lone Rock are into the single digits as we are starting off this morning. Some of the few areas that are actually into the single digits, especially with the Dells. But the good news is, as you are getting ready to head out the door, the commute this morning is going to be perfect. We're going to be looking at no issues on any of the major roadways or even in residential roads. All green across the board as we get into the rest of our Tuesdays. We're not looking at much active weather at all throughout today. Now, as we get into the afternoon, we're going to be seeing temperatures rise pretty quickly into those 30s, especially as we get into around the lunchtime hour. And as we get into the 5 p.m. commutes, just know it's going to be on a quiet end as well. Then we're going to see just a small little burst of a line of potentially some flurries or even some snow starting to sweep its way into southern Wisconsin very briefly, and then it's going to exit its way out as we get into tonight. Transitioning into Wednesday morning, the morning commute's going to be better than it was today, but we are going to be starting to see into our afternoon. Temperatures are still going to be on the colder end as the 30s are going to be on the lower end as we transition into our Wednesday afternoon. Now, the one thing we are going to be keeping an eye on is the potential for snow chances into southern Wisconsin, but it's going to be real south of Madison. Near the Illinois state line is where we're going to be seeing the chances of seeing flurries or even some snow rolling in for us. That'll carry them from Thursday night into Friday morning, but then we're looking at, once again, drier conditions as we head into this weekend. So the 3 things we're going to need to know is that we are going to be seeing colder temperatures thanks to the new snow cover, and that's because of the snow cover when the sun energy or solar energy is going to be reflected off of that snow back into space, so it reflects back into being colder temperatures for us. However, we are keeping an eye on snow chances for Thursday night into Friday morning and dry conditions heading into the weekend as well. But the good thing is it's going to be on the drier side, but we are looking at more spring-like conditions from Sunday heading into next week. 40s and even rain chances are back into the forecast instead of snow and below freezing temperatures, guys. Gotta love it.
All right, Julian, thank you. In our coronavirus coverage this morning, people in the U.S. can now order 4 more free at-home rapid COVID-19 antigen tests from the federal government. The program initially began during the Omicron surge in December and is part of the Biden administration's effort to increase COVID testing.
As the local need for testing decreases, Iowa County's testing site will be open fewer hours. Beginning Thursday, the clinic will only be open from 9 until 10 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The clinic, located at the county's HHS building in Dodgeville, appointments will still not be required.
When it comes to COVID vaccines, Public Health Madison-Dane County says that they have enough to get through 3 more weeks. While demand is decreasing, they say they should be able to get through the current vaccine allotment before the doses expire.
With the vaccine that we do receive, it lasts at least 10 weeks. So giving that time frame, that 10-week window of how long the vaccine lasts, we'll have a pretty good idea within that shipment of if we'll need that for the next shipment. And
Public Health Madison-Dane County says that the biggest issue has been open vials leading to wasted vaccines. They say shots are ordered based on the booking rates at local clinics.
New data shows side effects from the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine are mostly mild and only last a few days. CDC researchers examining more than 300,000 cases from the adverse vaccine reporting system. They found 92% of cases were mild, with nearly 7% more serious. The most common serious side effect was difficulty breathing, fever, fatigue, and headache. Researchers also examined 6 million responses from a voluntary smartphone-based surveillance system. According to that, 12% of people were affected by the first COVID-19 dose, 32% were affected by the second. Injection site pain, headache, and fatigue were the most common reactions within 7 days of getting the shot.
New research has found even mild COVID-19 cases can result in a loss of gray matter in the brain. Monday, the journal Nature published a new study that found infections can damage the brain, particularly the area that relates to smell. Scientists compared brain images from more than 400 people who had COVID with nearly 400 people who did not.
Across the globe, COVID-19 deaths has officially reached 6 million. That's according to Johns Hopkins University. The milestone comes 4 months after the world reached 5 million deaths. With more than 958,000, the U.S. has reported the highest number of deaths, followed by Brazil, Russia, and Mexico.
And soon the U.S. will reach its own sobering milestone, 1 million people dead from the virus. That's also according to new data from Johns Hopkins University.
It's a hard number to fathom because these are deaths. This isn't just a wide range of infections. These are people who themselves and family members have lost a life that's precious.
Meanwhile, experts say the move from pandemic to endemic appears to be accelerating as U.S. cases have now dropped down to about 45,000 a day. Hospitalizations and deaths are also much lower. Officials say the U.S. may be in for a near normal spring and summer.
State officials say we're still trending in the right direction here in Wisconsin as well. According to the latest DHS data, the 7-day average of new confirmed cases is now 467. The last time it was below 500 was at the end of July last year.
As they work to recover from the pandemic, Wisconsin bars, restaurants, and small businesses are getting some help just in time for tax season. Governor Tony Evers signing a new pair of bills into law Monday.
With these two bills, we hope to provide folks with a little more clarity and a little less stress and worry as they head into tax season. So that, I'll hand this over to Secretary Peter.
The first bill is designed to give business owners some peace of mind, making all their received federal relief funds exempt from state taxes. The second bill increases the amount of ordinary income that may be offset by capital losses from $500 to $3,000. Passed with bipartisan support, both bills will benefit more than 2,000 businesses.
State legislative leaders are in talks with the Democratic Party of Wisconsin discussing Governor Evers' budget surplus proposal, which Democrats say would make a positive impact on Wisconsin residents. The governor's plan directs taxpayer dollars back to Wisconsin families to help them pay bills and address rising costs. The plan would give a $150 tax refund for every filer and their dependents, as well as an expanded child tax. Democrats are also looking to spend some of the surplus on schools, providing $111 million for the UW system, $28 million for tech colleges, and more than $600 million for K-12 schools. Ben Winkler, with the chair of the Wisconsin's Democratic Party, says giving the money back to the people of Wisconsin will help the state's economy. He also argues the GOP is withholding taxpayer dollars.
If Wisconsinites' money just collects dust for the next year, it'll be on Republicans to explain why they've chosen to put their self-serving political agenda above helping families put food on the table.
State Republicans say they'd rather use the money to give Wisconsinites a tax cut in 2023.
Coming up, Madison police are still looking for the person responsible for injuring 2 others during a weekend drive-by shooting. The latest on the search for a suspect.
Plus, several attorneys general have launched an investigation into the video sharing app TikTok, why they argue it's harmful for kids, and how you can keep your child safe.
Rocks in the treetop all day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing this song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin going tweet, 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 rockin' robin.
I'm Rebecca, and you might know me from reality TV.
And this was my stubborn body fat that I just couldn't get rid of. But then I went to Sono Bello, and they permanently removed my body fat in just one visit.
It is so intensely gratifying for one visit to make this big of a change. It's amazing.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It feels incredible to look down, and it's flat. Thank you again, Sono Bello. I'm so happy.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-800-595-1532 or go to sonobello.com.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues to help hardworking families attain homeownership. By providing financial coaching, homeowners can manage their mortgage and other finances while building stability for their family. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
Nothing beats a great night's sleep on a new mattress from Steinhoffels. Right now, get a Tempur-Pedic Queen mattress for only $23.99 and get $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Take your sleep to the next level with the Tempur-Pedic Ergo Base that automatically adjusts your position while you sleep to help reduce snoring. Queen bases start at just $24.99. And with Steinhoffels special financing and free delivery, your new mattress has never been more affordable. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
It's Ford Truck Month, America. With new inventory arriving daily, it's time to get after it in a Ford F-150 and a Ford Ranger. Stop by your local Ford dealer today and let us help you custom order your truck your way. Then we'll get after building it. It's Ford Truck Month. Visit your local Ford dealer today. Order your F-150 to lock in 0% financing for 66 months and $500 cash, plus an extra $1,000 retailer order bonus.
It's a fresh new spring season at Madison Lighting. The showroom is filled with the best new lighting trends. Need advice? Their experts make adding light at your house easy. Come in and be inspired. Madison Lighting on Watts Road.
Morning. Who said that? Whoa, where did that come from? Floating money.
Funny.
Good luck out there.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast. News 3 Now this morning.
A judge in Canada has freed one of the main organizers of the country's Freedom Convoy. 49-year-old Tamara Lick has been in jail since February 17th. She's accused of raising more than $10 million on GoFundMe to support a protest against COVID-19 restrictions that lasted weeks. Police eventually cleared out demonstrators who occupied Canada's capital city. Truck drivers participating in the protest also blocked bridges leading to the U.S. for weeks. A judge ruled on appeal Monday that Lick's trial is likely so far in the future, the amount of time that she's spent for it in jail would likely be longer than any sentence she would receive. He freed her on a $25,000 bond and ordered her to leave Ottawa within 24 hours, not to contact protest co-organizers, and stay off of social media.
In Washington, D.C., Congress has given its final approval to the legislation that makes lynching a federal hate crime. After being passed by the House 2 years ago, the Senate has now passed the Emmett Till anti-lynching bill. Till was a black teenager who was lynched in Mississippi in 1955. The bill will now be sent to President Biden for his signature.
Staying in the nation's capital, the U.S. Supreme Court has rejected a bid from Pennsylvania prosecutors that requested Bill Cosby's sexual assault prosecution be reopened. Cosby was convicted in 2018 for drugging and sexually assaulting a woman in his home in 2004. He was released last summer after the state Supreme Court overturned his conviction, ruling his due process rights were violated.
More local news now at 6:16. The search for a suspect continues after Madison police say 2 people were injured in an alleged drive-by shooting early Sunday morning. The 34 and 35-year-old victims say the shooting happened on Odana Road. They drove themselves to the hospital. Officers reportedly found shattered glass and 8 shell casings at the scene. So far, no arrests have been made.
2 men have been charged for punching a minor in the face after a fight at a local youth hockey game over the weekend. It happened at the McFarland Community Ice Arena Saturday evening, where McFarland was playing against Hayward. Police say a fight broke out among parents and fans. The 2 men are now facing charges of disorderly conduct and physical abuse to a child.
Time right now, 6:17. Julian Seawright is here with your certified most accurate forecast. That sunshine making its return on a Tuesday.
That's right, and it's a beautiful start in terms of what it's looking like outside as of right now. But looking ahead, we are going to see those temperatures, which is really feeling pretty chilly as we're kicking things off at 16 degrees right now here in Madison. They will be into a nice increase as we get into the later part of today, especially around lunchtime, where we're going to be looking at almost 20 degrees of an increase. However, take note, we are going to be seeing a bit of those close to breezy conditions for us as well throughout much of today. But aside from that, it's going to be quiet as we're looking at plenty of open sky for us until we get into the rest of this evening, where we could be seeing just a quick little line of some flurries that look to fall apart before it even reaches Madison for us as we get into our Tuesday night. So it's going to be still on the quieter side. Now, our snow chances are pretty minimal as we get into our Thursday and Friday. They're going to be more increased towards areas near the Illinois state line, but we are going to see temperatures once again start to go into the colder side as we go towards the weekend, but some warmer temperatures are on the way as well. We'll take a look at that coming up in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. A group of attorneys general in several states across the country have opened an investigation into whether the video sharing platform TikTok is harmful to children.
An investigation last year looked into Instagram for similar concerns. Mandy Gaither explains those concerns and shares what parents need to know to keep kids safe.
Social media in the spotlight once again. An investigation into TikTok follows a similar one launched in November by a group of state attorneys general and whether these platforms are harmful to children.
It's really a wake-up call, the power of social media on such a young population.
Dr. Mohammed Al-Dasari, director of the Center for Pediatric Neurosciences at Cleveland Clinic, says social media can affect children's mental health and may even cause or worsen stress and anxiety.
These young minds are very suggestible. They're very vulnerable to these exposures.
Al-Dasari says parents and kids need to be aware of potential dangers. If a child is already suffering from a mental health issue like depression or anxiety, there's a higher risk of adverse effects of social media. Consider limiting exposure, and parents should talk to kids about what they're seeing online.
I think it's something that we really have to address for the well-being and the safety of the young generation.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The investigations into the platform are aimed at seeing whether the companies behind the social media accounts violated consumer protection laws and put children at risk.
20 minutes past 6 o'clock right now. Still ahead for us this morning, why women are being honored across the globe today.
And it's been more than a month since Quadrin Wilson was shot by 2 DCI agents on the east side. Why his family continues to demand answers.
This portion of News 3 Now is brought to you by Shopko Optical.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobuson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobuson.com to apply.
This is the house that Angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And is crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that Angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living. Built with the help of angels.
When you need a paint to fit your lifestyle, Menards has got you covered. From protecting against this, or covering this, to refinishing this, we have a paint for you. You also need it in this color, or even this color. We can do that. Stop in and talk to one of our paint professionals to make your colors come to life. Right now at Menards, Dutch Boy Forever interior flat paint is $28.47 after 11% rebate.
At Papa Murphy's, we knead seriously, chop seriously, and shred seriously. Because we're serious about Tuesdays, even if you're not. Every Tuesday, get a large pizza for just $10. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Crispy fish with that spicy kick. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Wow.
Perfect.
I think red is more me. Giddy up.
Right now, you can get 2.49% APR for 60 months on Toyota's most popular 2022 models, including Corolla, Camry, Tundra, RAV4, or Highlander.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
My name's Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
We're back with a nice storm picture from Joel Templeton. He used the hashtag MyNews3Morning so we could share it. These are some of those storms that came through on Saturday night, we believe. Julian, I wanted to ask you, how rare is it, I guess, historically, to see storms like this early in March.
Early in March, storms are not as rare as you would think. However, since we did have that tornado EF1 that was confirmed in Stoughton, that one was the third in history that was recorded, or the third earliest in history that was recorded, thanks to the National Weather Service. They gave us a little tip on that. So these are very rare in terms of seeing how severe those storms were, but seeing storms this early are not as rare as you may think.
There you go. All right, Julian. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, post on social media, and we'll share your morning on the air.
Well, this next story goes out to all the ladies out there.
So today is International Women's Day. It's a call to action to continue fighting for women's equality, to take a close look at what still has to be done to create a world that's diverse, equitable, and inclusive. But it's also a chance to recognize how far women have come socially, economically, culturally, and politically. This day has been marked for more than 100 years, going back to 1911, and it's now celebrated around the world.
All of us with some very influential women in our lives, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I got 4 of them at home.
That's great, because Stanford is the girl dad here.
Yeah. 3 little girls, my wife, of course, and my mother, all some very influential parts of my life, who are constantly inspiring me and giving me, you know, different perspectives on what's going on around me. Some of my favorite things to do are listen to my wife talk about what's impacting her world and how she views it from a woman. But it's, you know, it can be difficult sometimes as a man to see things in that light. So I appreciate my wife sharing this stuff with me all the time. It's made me a better person and a better man.
Yeah, and I think talking about it is important too, right?
Yeah,
I know a lot of leaders in my life, from my mom and my sister to, you know, folks I work with at my gym too. It's fun to see that.
It sure is. And we learned this morning that Julian, he's a mama's boy.
Yes, I am. Shout out to my mom, because she's the most influential woman in my life as of right now. But before we get into more about my mother, we do have to talk about the bus stop forecast. Even though she is great, well, the temperatures are not going to be so much to start off, as we're looking at plenty of sunshine and warmer temperatures for bus drop-off. We'll have more news and weather coming up in a few moments. Stick around.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At Associated Physicians, do you know how much we offer all under one roof? It's a lot. From OBGYN, peds, and internal medicine to lab, x-ray, behavioral health, and more. Associated Physicians, 233-9746.
Has the winter taken a toll on your roof? Call Feldco today and get free installation on your roofing project. Plus, no interest until 2023.
Ah, fresh coffee.
Hurry, free installation and soon. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Want great hires? Happy and productive employees? And a strong local economy for years to come? It all starts with affordable, high-quality child care for Wisconsin families. Partner with a child care program in your community and reach your shared goals together with a grant from Project Growth. See all the ways partnership pays at projectgrowth.wi.gov.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Rinvoq.
When you open a jar of Better Than Bouillon, you open up dinner time to great flavor. Mix it into a stir fry. Better. Saute it into some veggies. Better. Or brush it onto a steak.
Way better.
With Better Than Bouillon, the possibilities are endless. Make your everything better with Better Than Bouillon.
At Pick and Save, every free pickup order is picked fresh and packed with care, or we'll make it right. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
The OBGYN team at Associated Physicians wants to remind you that it's time to redirect your attention. Back to you. We are here, and we have just one focus. You. Call us at Associated Physicians, 233-9746.
Right now, family and friends of Quadrin Wilson say they want answers, how they're sending a message to local investigators.
Plus, failed twice by her community police department. A look at Oregon Police's response to these allegations.
And a cold start to our morning. However, we are looking for some improvements. We'll give you the forecast coming up.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a Tuesday morning, March 8th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us. Leland Scheid still on her honeymoon this week. It's been more than a month now since video was recorded.
Yeah, this is when 38-year-old Quadrin Wilson was taken into custody on Madison's east side. Since then, we've learned a total of 21 officers from a variety of departments were involved in his arrest. The Dane County Sheriff's Department, leading the investigation, says 2 DCI agents fired their weapons. They have identified and placed them on paid administrative leave. Most recently, we've learned that Wilson was not armed at the time. His family says he was shot multiple times in the back. Family and friends of Wilson say they're still waiting for answers.
They sent a message in the form of a letter personally delivered to local officials. That letter is a list of demands given to the Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, and the chair of the Wisconsin Black Caucus. The first demand is to charge and arrest the officers they say are responsible for shooting Wilson. Next, make this investigation more transparent. Lastly, to allow Wilson, whose father, Maine Morris, says has an infection, to go back to the hospital for treatment.
He don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. He's in pain. The police are giving us the runaround. I mean, it's 34 days. Mentally, he's messed up. Mentally, we messed up too. Period.
Wilson was arrested due to a charge for delivering fentanyl to a person who later died. You can find more information on the case up right now at channel3000.com.
In a separate Dane County case, the district attorney says he won't seek charges against any Madison police officers where the suspect eventually took his own life. This happened on November 28th on Secret Garden Drive. Police say the 18-year-old man was armed and making murder-suicide threats. They say an officer fired their weapon but didn't hit him. He eventually turned his gun on himself. An Oregon teen says the system failed her after a sexual assault.
We first told you her story last fall. Now she's sitting down with us for the first time, detailing what she says was a system failure in response to her public YouTube video, as schools across our country and county, reckon with their policies for handling sexual violence. Our investigative reporter, Naomi Coles, shares the story.
3 years ago, a moment that's changing Bree Opliger's life to this day.
I kept saying that I wasn't in the mood or wasn't ready.
She was 14 at a party with her 17-year-old boyfriend. She said no, he didn't listen.
I didn't really tell anyone about it until a couple of months later when I found out that another girl had gotten assaulted by the same guy. After doing that, that's when we ended up reporting it to our counselors.
What happened next is what drove Bree years later to tape the YouTube video when she first went public with her story last fall.
I want the school to wake up.
She, the other victim, and the school counselor all sat down with the then school resource officer at Oregon High School. She says the officer made comments about her abuser sleeping worse than her at night and would later tell her it was too late to press charges.
That made me feel hopeless, but also it didn't really give me any closure. So I feel like that was a very important part of what I needed at that time.
Fast forward to today. After Bree went locally viral with her story, Oregon police reopened the investigation. We got the records. It wasn't too late to press charges, but this time Bree says she'd come to terms.
Kind of get closure. I wouldn't really call it closure, but I've had time to sit with it I kind of came to terms with the fact that there probably wouldn't be any evidence of it happening.
The real issue for her, how the officer had handled her case and how she says neither he nor the school fully gave her the information she needed at the time.
They didn't really explain it very well, and that kind of scared me away from, like, making my mind up right on the spot.
So she filed a civil complaint about the officer, who is still with the department. Days ago, the chief emailed Bree. Her complaints, unsubstantiated. The chief said there wasn't enough evidence the officer told her that she couldn't press charges or that he had made inappropriate comments to her during the meeting.
You could tell that they definitely took the officer's side, and it was definitely a biased investigation.
The chief said in her email that the core evidence, the body cam footage of the interview, has since been purged. When we reached out for comment, the chief sent a statement nearly identical to the one she issued 3 months ago, saying they support victims but encourage them to come forward as soon as possible.
What we want is really clear definition.
Bree isn't the only one seeking change in how schools and police handle sexual violence between students. High schools in Madison and Sun Prairie last fall staged walkouts in protest, and now schools are responding.
It is a really wonderful thing to watch students advocate for themselves and the services that they want and need.
Dane Pelabon from the Rape Crisis Center says they're now working with many schools in the area to respond with better education, resources, and policies.
So there is an awakening that is happening. It started with the Me Too movement, and we had a time period in there where most of what we were concerned about is COVID, but as the students are back in schools and as the problems that have been there all along are having light shed on them, we are really seeing an activation in a new way.
Bree didn't have the education she needed at 14 to take power over her choices. That's what the Rape Crisis Center is trying to bring to schools. But justice can also look different for everyone.
Our concern is what happens with the survivors of sexual violence. The school's concern is what happens on both sides. So sometimes that is a delicate balance, and sometimes justice doesn't look like how a survivor may want it to look.
For Bree, still healing after the trauma of sitting next to her abuser in class and watching him graduate without repercussions.
I'm taking back my story.
She's in this now for everyone.
I don't want it to happen to anyone else, so I'm just going to keep pushing, keep going until I get the response that I want.
That was Naomi Coles reporting. Oregon schools say that they have partnered with the Rape Crisis Center and have done survivor circles, school assemblies, and student counseling after this event. Bree says she's done some volunteering, too, for the Rape Crisis Center, and given how impactful this assault was, she's considering whether helping survivors may become part of her career.
6:36 right now. Julian Seawright has your certified most accurate forecast. Good morning, Julian.
And we are looking at a beautiful sunrise to start off our morning, even though it's on the colder side as we're waking up. 16 degrees here in Madison as we're kicking off our morning, but at least it's not onto the breezy side as we're waking up. Temperatures around southern Wisconsin are going to be chilly as you're heading out the door. 19 degrees in Janesville with 10 degrees in Platteville. And we can see single digits from Prairie du Chien up to the Dells is where we're going to be looking at colder temperatures into single digits as we're kicking off this morning. One good thing is that our commute at least is going to be so much better than it was yesterday. No issues on the roads from residential to major roadways at all throughout today. We're looking at nice dry conditions for us, plenty of sunshine, and we're not looking at much activity at all. However, it is cold to start. We are looking for a nice increase in temperatures by the time we approach the lunchtime hour, almost 20-degree difference as we get into those middle 30s and upper 30s going into our evening hours. And again, it's going to be a sunny day. So as we go in throughout the rest of it, it's going to be on the quiet side. As we transition into our evening hours, we are going to start to see just a small little burst of a system starting to come in from the northwest, which could be bringing in just some light flurries or even some snow to areas into the northwest, but it's going to start to fall apart before it even really gets to Madison. So we might see just a stray pop-up isolated flurry, but for the most part, still going to be on the quiet side for us. Transitioning into our Wednesday morning commutes, again, no issues. Might see a couple of clouds, but for the most part, temperatures are just going to hang into those 20s until we get into our Wednesday afternoon, where the lower 30s will roll back in, but still going to be onto the colder and going to be on the quiet side. The only time we're going to see a little hint of some activity is for our areas into the south, mainly near Rock County, as we could see just some little burst of some light snowfall or even some flurries between the Illinois state line and southern areas of southern Wisconsin. But aside from that, going into the rest of this work week and for the weekend, it's going to be on the quiet bright side again. The only thing that we're going to see is temperatures going back to some pretty frigid conditions as we go into the weekend. Now, we're going to be seeing that Arctic blast of air coming in for the back end of this work week, and then we're going to see warmer air coming in as we go into our Sunday, transitioning into Monday. We're going to be back to seeing just a taste of some spring-like condition for us as we head into next week. But until then, it's going to be cold for now. We're going to be having a chance for areas south of Madison to see some flurries or even some snow showers, but then it's going to be dry going into the weekend and milder as we head into Sunday. And that's what we're going to see from our 10-day forecast. Temperatures are going to fluctuate with a little bit of a roller coaster, especially as we head into Sunday and Monday of next week. But a lot of signs of some spring-like conditions heading into next week as we're seeing 40s, 50, and rain chances in our forecast. It has me smiling from cheek to cheek because I'm ready for some spring now, guys.
We love to see it, right, Chris Stanford?
I'm looking forward to some warmer temperatures. It's a little chilly out there today.
Julian, thank you. Yep. Live look outside right now at 6:39. You can see traffic moving along just fine. Much better out there this morning versus yesterday. We'll be right back here in just a few minutes with more on that.
Gotta watch out for that solar glare this morning.
You do, yeah. Get those sunglasses.
That low sun angle will get you this time of year. Also ahead, 4 things you can do today to protect your retirement savings.
Save big on quality Smith Brothers furniture at Wanakee Furniture ETC, the #1 Smith Brothers dealer in the nation. That's right, per square footage, we sell more Smith Brothers than anyone else. So let our design experts customize a look for you during the Smith Brothers factory authorized sale at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
These are the faces that smile so wide at the friends and staff who are by their side, where life is lived with a feeling of pride on every bump of life's great ride. That comes from the care that sweetens the air that lives in the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living built with the help of angels.
Finding the right ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids recipe for health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
PTI, I need the PDF, COB, AKA EOD. What's the ETA?
ASAP, FYI.
LMK.
HBD Gordon. HBTY.
LOL, look at this GIF. It's GIF. FWIW.
ROTFL.
You see my IM?
TLDR.
What?
Too long. Didn't read.
Okay.
We don't need any more acronyms, but we could all use more ways to save.
BMX, YOLO!
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
SMH.
From working out to catching up, and of course, game night, your home is the groundwork for all of life's awesome moments. This is Tom Coyle. My family and I say thank you. We're proud to have been a part of this community for 77 years. And during our 77th anniversary event, carpet installation is just $77. Coyle Carpet One Floor and Home. Beautiful, made affordable. Locally owned and operated since 1945.
Save big on quality Smith Brothers furniture at Wanakee Furniture ETC, the #1 Smith Brothers dealer in the nation. That's right, per square footage, we sell more Smith Brothers than anyone else. So let our design experts customize a look for you during the Smith Brothers factory authorized sale at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
If you thought building a new home would be more affordable this year, think again.
It's just insane right now.
Eric Pronkey talks to local builders to find out what's driving up the bottom line on home construction. Thursday on News 3 Now at 6.
News 3 Now is always on.
Get the Channel 3000 app, activate the push alerts, and we will send you breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts as it happens.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast. News 3 Now this morning.
Developing news from the Twin Cities this morning. Minneapolis Public Schools, starts a strike this morning. Minneapolis Public Schools and the Minneapolis Federation of Teachers remain unable to come to an agreement on teacher contracts, so Minneapolis teachers are striking. Teachers want more mental health for their students, smaller classes for more one-on-one work, and higher wages. This will be the first strike in Minneapolis in more than 50 years.
6:43 right now. We're continuing our call for action this morning to help protect your retirement savings from scammers.
Leah Linscheid has some advice from our team of experts who take your calls.
Terry is one of our Call for Action volunteers here at News 3 Now. He has 30-plus years of experience in finance, working first as a regulator, then for a law firm, litigating for security firms. So he's been on both sides, and he has his own experience with scams. He and his wife had a close call just a couple months ago. Take a listen.
It was a near miss. They almost got $300,000 of our money through this false email that my wife received. And they had a very convincing story how they made a mistake and that we needed to correct their mistake by sending them this large amount of money.
Terry, of course, didn't fall for it. Now, yesterday, we shared Terry's advice with you on how to avoid this type of scam from ever happening. But what if you followed through with that scammer's instructions? What if they took your money? What can you do? Well, here's Terry's advice. Number one, contact all of your financial institutions and let them know what happened. This includes credit reporting agencies. Tell them some transactions are unauthorized and shouldn't lower your credit score. Two, call law enforcement. That means more than just your local police department or sheriff's office. Get a hold of local agencies like the Department of Consumer Protection and federal ones like the FTC. And three, upgrade your computer security. Download new security software to scan your computer. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Change your password. Finally, don't feel embarrassed that this happened to you. Tell your family and friends so they know this scam is out there. Help educate others to take these steps as well.
That was Leah Linscheid reporting. We are always looking to expand our Call for Action team. Here are the details to get involved if you have any interest in helping out your community and taking action on their behalf.
6:45 right now. Department store chain Kohl's is opening 100 small format stores. The stores aiming to increase sales slowly over time. The plan is to open the stores over the next 4 years. The company also planning to expand its partnership with Sephora. The announcement comes ahead of their annual investor meeting as they already face increased pressure from investors.
Tech gurus will closely be watching Apple today for its first product event of 2022. The event is called Peak Performance, which could mean faster devices or more 5G connectivity. And there are rumors this morning that Apple could roll out a new and more affordable iPhone model. There could also be upgrades to the MacBook and iMac. The virtual event starts at noon our time.
6:46, Julian Seawright is here with a check of our certified most accurate forecast. Hi, Julian.
Well, the theme of today is a cold start, but a bit better as we get into the afternoon. And of course, the gorgeous sunrise for us here in Madison. So as we're looking ahead, starting off right now, 16 degrees for us, but we will be into those 30s as we approach lunchtime. So it's going to feel a bit more comfortable for us as we get in throughout the rest of today. Now, one thing we are going to be keeping an eye on is the chance of seeing some more wintry precipitation for areas just south of Madison near the Illinois state border as we get into our Thursday night transitioning into Friday morning. But aside from that, folks, it's going to be pretty quiet throughout the next few days, especially as we head into the weekend. But the one thing we are going to see, just because it's quiet doesn't mean it's not going to be cold. We're going to go into the rest of the work week and into the weekend, starting off onto some chilly conditions for us. But then we're going to be above average as we head next week, as the temperatures are going to be a bit more spring-like, as we're going to be seeing 40s bounce up and down until we just jump into some 50-degree temperatures heading into Wednesday of next week. So definitely going to be something to look forward to over the next few days. Now, as we take a look at our traffic as of right now, as we noticed from just 24 hours ago, it was pretty hectic on the Beltline, but now it's pretty smooth sailing as we're starting things off for us. However, onto the interstate, there is an undisclosed incident on the interstate as of right now, which has closed the right shoulder on I-39, I-90. So just know, even though it hasn't interrupted any traffic flow as of right now, still that interstate has a right shoulder closing as of right now. And that'll do it for traffic. So go ahead and toss it back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Coming up in the morning sprint, details on the return of UW Marching Band's spring concert.
First, if you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us their picture. We'd love to help them celebrate. Here's how. We'll be right back.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Come join the amazing team of compassionate caregivers at the one and only Attic Angel Community. Attic Angel Community of Madison is looking for skilled RNs and CNAs and offers shift differentials and on-demand pay, tuition reimbursement, wellness center, and much more. CNAs starting at $18 an hour. We also offer rewarding careers in housekeeping and food service. Apply online today at atticangel.org. Come join the one and only Attic Angel Community.
Broadway's Tony-winning Best Musical is Dear Evan Hansen. Evan Hansen, May 10th to 15th at Overture Center. Find your tickets at overture.org today.
To stay out in front, you have to rise above the competition at every turn and earn the right to be known as a champion.
Jack, how's the car?
Hy-Vee gets what it takes to be the best. When it comes to fresh, sustainable seafood, they're first rate because they know fresh seafood. And here's a simple takeaway. If you think you can find any better, then you don't know Hy-Vee and you don't know Jack.
People today, they could spend half their lives over 50, which is great, but it's gonna take some planning.
What can you do for me?
So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. To help your money live as long as you do. The money you earn, the money you splurge. I'm going in. And the money you save.
I just bought that. Huh, I just sold that.
That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-6947. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-6947.
Here for you in a heartbeat. SSM Health, Heart and Vascular Care.
6:51, time for the morning sprint.
We start with the latest on Quadrin Wilson this morning. Right now, the family looking for more answers, hand-delivering a letter of demands to the Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, and Chair of the Wisconsin Black Caucus. Wilson was arrested due to a charge of delivering fentanyl to a person who later died.
After going public about her sexual assault and how she says the system mishandled it in the aftermath, Bria Oppinger says that she's been once again failed by the system. She says while investigating her assault, the officer told her she couldn't press charges and proceeded to make inappropriate comments. Since her story came out, multiple other students with similar experiences have come out.
The search for a suspect continues this morning after Madison police say 2 people were injured in an alleged drive-by shooting early Sunday morning. The 34 and 35-year-old victims say the shooting happened on Odana Road after they left a business on Grand Canyon Drive. A suspect vehicle allegedly pulled up next to the victims and opened fire. Officers reportedly found shattered glass and 8 shell casings at the scene. So far, officers haven't arrested anyone.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he'll stay in Kyiv as long as it takes to win what he calls a patriotic war. He's also critical of Russia breaking last week's ceasefire. He, however, has cautious optimism that a new ceasefire will happen and stay around.
To the NFL this morning, where Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley has been suspended for the 2022 season for betting on NFL games last year. Last season, Ridley took a break from football to address mental health concerns. During that time, though, the NFL caught Ridley gambling on league games. Ridley took to Twitter to defend himself, saying he does not have a gambling problem and that he will bounce back from his mistake.
In Florida, more than 1,100 homes are evacuated on the Panhandle as wildfires continue to grow. The most prominent blaze, the Bertha Swamp Road fire, expanded over the weekend and was at 1,300 acres and only 10% contained. The fire is just east of Panama City, a popular tourist destination.
A new study shows almost everyone who was born between 1961 and 1980 was exposed to dangerous levels of lead. According to the study, about 170 million people in the U.S. had dangerous levels of lead in their blood during their early childhood years. The study's authors blame leaded gasoline, which was commonly used to fuel cars in the 1960s and 70s. About 53% of the total population had a high level of lead in their blood as children.
President Biden reportedly expected to sign an executive order this week to begin government regulation of cryptocurrency. It's in response to growing concerns Russia could use cryptocurrency to evade the impact of sanctions levied in response to the invasion of Ukraine. The Justice Department, Treasury, and other agencies will also study the possible development of a U.S.-backed digital coin.
March Madness officially upon us, and check this video out. The SoCon Championship between Furman and Chattanooga. A late layup put Furman up, but that didn't discourage Chattanooga, hitting this incredible three right here, setting the Mocs to the NCAA tournament. Local connection here too. Chattanooga head coach Lamont Paris was a Badgers assistant from 2010 to 2017.
Sunday's loss to Nebraska drops the Badger men's basketball team to 12th in the AP poll, headed into the Big Ten tournament. On top of that, Sporting News has named Johnny Davis a first-team All-American. Davis left the Kohl Center in a walking boot over the weekend, but head coach Greg Gard says he's optimistic Davis will play in the Big Ten tournament. Badgers play Friday.
For the first time in 2 years, the UW Marching Band Spring Concert will be returning to the Kohl Center next month. This year's show, scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on April 22nd and 23rd. The annual concert, of course, put on hold in both 2020 and 21 due to the pandemic. This year's show will be the band's first spring concert under director Corey Pompey's leadership.
And we have a cold start to our morning, but we are going to be expecting to see improvement as we approach the lunchtime hours. Temperatures will be into the middle 30s, and we are going to be seeing plenty of sunshine today, folks. So make sure that you have your sunglasses. As we get into the evening hours, still looking at plenty of quiet conditions in southern Wisconsin. So we're not looking at many issues from the weather world, at least for our evening commutes. Now, as we get into the later part of this evening, we will start to see just a quick little line of some potential to bring in a burst of some light snow or even flurries to areas in the northwest of southern Wisconsin, and then we'll fall apart as we get into the later part of tonight. So you may still see just a quick little flurry as we go into tonight and quieter conditions as we head into our Wednesday morning. Now, the three things you're going to need to know: we're going to be on the colder side. Snow is going to be expected for areas south of Madison from Thursday night into Friday morning. Just some quick little flurry or even some light snow showers, but we're going to stay dry and it's going to be cold as we head into the weekend. But milder temperatures are coming back as we head into Sunday, and that's what we're going to see from our 10-day forecast. A bit of a roller coaster for the next few days, and then going into next week, much more consistency as we're going to be seeing 40s and even 50-degree temperatures going into next week, and a taste of some spring, guys.
All right, Julian, thank you, and thank you all so much for joining us. Enjoy that sunshine. Make it a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.